What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Appreciate everybody in here. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day. And we are back here. Today is January 19th, Monday. The markets are closed, but there's definitely things we need to be talking about here because there's a lot of price action happening, or at least did happen over the night on during the Asia trading session. So we all know there's some tensions going on between the European Union and the United States right now, with some potential tariffs going both ways, which is causing markets here to react. Bitcoin had a very drastic, sharp decline from 95,400 all the way down to $91,750 overnight, guys. Overnight, in the matter of like less than an hour, just a massive deep decline. And since then, just pretty much chopped sideways. We're currently sitting at 92,883. Like I said, in the US right now, the markets are closed. So there's not a lot of volume going on. But we need to recap. Last week, we talked about the zone between 96,000 to 98,000 being critical, and that the potential setup for this week was if we closed high enough, right near that previous week high, we had a weekend little pump, we could try to potentially jump up to that 97, 98, one last sweep, get that re-entry to the short and go to the downside. At this point in time, I do not believe that is going to happen anymore. I am not expecting a retest of 97,098. If you got the entry, fantastic. If you did not get the entry, don't wait on it. So right now, what I am looking at, right, main critical things that I'm looking at for Bitcoin right now, the next short opportunity that I'm looking at is between 93,900 to 94,600, anywhere in between that area. If we get rejected from that area, we will be retesting the previous week regression trend. We would be retesting the previous week value area low. We will be retesting the previous week EQ. And if we get rejected from that zone, I am expecting Bitcoin to continue rolling over towards the low of $90,000, between 90,000 and 88,620 bucks is what I'm targeting for the short term here for Bitcoin. You guys already know that I talked about the rejection at 97, 96 to 98, leading to a bigger drop overall down to about 80,000, maybe as low as 67,000, which is still on the table. And so far, that drop is playing out. We perfectly went into that zone, got rejected from that zone, started creating lower highs, and now we've had a nice little pullback. So we need to make sure that that area that we can reclaim 94.6 to have any hope of revisiting 96,000 to 97. But meanwhile, we stay below 94.6 to 94,000. That is the area to be getting a potential short entry to continue riding into the downside between 90 to 80K to the downside here in the next following weeks. As if we do not reclaim this in the next week and a half, we will be closing a monthly and a monthly time frame candle for January, rejecting from that zone of 96, 98, which is just proving more and more that that zone was the resistance to be very careful with. And that was the bull trap, right? That was where everybody was lining up saying, we're going higher, we're going higher, we're back, we're back, we're back, we're back. And guess what? We are back. We're back down, baby. We are back down. So appreciate everybody in here right now. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe. Drop your questions and your altcoins into the chat. I will be going over them. So that is what we got for Bitcoin right now. Altcoins overall, you know, they don't like when Bitcoin pulls back. We do have Maker for some reason today pumping 31.4%. So if anybody in the chat anywhere around here knows what kind of headline or what the heck happened to make Maker pump 31% today, I would love to hear it. I have no idea what's going on with Maker. I don't know what's caused such a massive rally. This thing's been super flat for the longest amount of time, and now out of nowhere has just had a major rally of 31% today. Everything else is pretty much following Bitcoin's step. Let's just go to the obvious, XRP. I know everybody wants to know where is XRP going to go. So let's cover it here. Let's jump right into it. So I've been warning you guys that if Bitcoin keeps pulling back, XRP will also pull back. And so far, XRP has not disappointed. So XRP, along with that crash with Bitcoin, has as Bitcoin pulled back during the Asia market open, XRP and the altcoins pulled back along with it, causing XRP to drop below its green support zone of $2 and coming down as low as 184. Now, currently on the daily, we have a pretty significant wick back to the upside so far, and we're currently sitting at 198, right? So we pumped back up over like 10 cents. And XRP is trying to fight to hold that $2 mark. But if XRP fails, because at the end of the day, the altcoins are not immune to Bitcoin's price. Wherever Bitcoin goes, the altcoins will follow. So if Bitcoin does continue to pull back, which at this point I do expect it to do so, unless it can reclaim that 94,600 area, XRP's target zones to the downside here are 184 to 177. If that area does not hold, which is our current bottom for December, if we don't hold that area, we're looking at 149 to about 113 to the downside for XRP. Not saying that we're going to go to 113 tomorrow, but it slow and steady as Bitcoin pulls back, as we start heading towards that 80,000, depending how fast we get there, is how fast that drop for XRP will occur. Let's see here. Mr. Slippers, what's going on? Says Bitcoin pulling back to low 80s, maybe mid 90s, mid 70s. Sorry, mid 70s. That's when you deploy your cash. Just be patient. I am Jackspot. That is actually very accurate. I am not saying that it's financial advice or anything like that, but I am looking for that $80,000 price point to about 67,000. So 67. You said mid 70s, not too far off from the mid 70s, right? You can always have some wicks or whatever. That is a very interesting area. I would rather not go down to 67 just because starting to close dailies for Bitcoin below 70,000 puts us in the 2024 yearly range. And then, coming down to that $67,000 price point puts us in danger of slipping down to about $57,000 to $49,000, which I definitely don't want to go and test those waters. But at the end of the day, we don't decide where the market goes. We just gotta follow and ride the waves, right? So if that's where the market is going, like I said, I am looking for a short on Bitcoin if we get rejected from that 94,000 to 94,600 area once again, making another lower high and continuing to the downside. B-Fire, what's going on, man? Is that code 99 still active? Yes, B-Fire, the code 99 is still active for now. Make sure you go in there and take advantage of it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, my private trading group right now is on a nice little discount. It is normally $149 a month, but I put in a new code for the 99 club, right? I'm bringing back the 99 club, meaning the 99 tier. So instead of being $149, it's going to be $99 a month to get in there, and you're going to be getting $51 off your membership per month for the lifetime of your membership. So if you want to join in there, learn how to read data, learn how to read charts, go through my trading course, start doing some active trading, that is where you want to be, right? If that's not you, if you don't want to be trading, if you don't want to be analyzing data, if you don't want to be learning, don't go there. That's not going to be the place for you. So yeah, hope to see you in there, B-Fire. Should we buy now? Vince, like I said, I'm not buying any altcoins because of this exact same case that is playing out right now, which is the $98,000 rejection for Bitcoin. Bitcoin came into a square zone of resistance between 96 to 98. I told you guys that if we were going to start getting rejected from there and dropping back down, Bitcoin would be in trouble with the potential of dropping down to between 80,000 to 67. What is that going to do for your altcoins? That is going to crush your altcoins. So I'm not buying altcoins for that reason, right? I'm willing to take the short on Bitcoin now. Again, if you missed out that 97 to $98,000 price point, I am willing to take the short around 94,000 to 94,600, 94,600. Sorry, between that region to head lower towards the 90 to $80,000 price point. So no, I'm not currently buying anything. Obviously, not financial advice. You do whatever you want. It's up to you. Just for me right now, it's too risky to be buying any altcoins right now. Ripple will reward the XRP army at some point. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. So if Bitcoin doesn't pass 98 by the end of the year, should we expect a nice dip? My friend, there's no way that we're gonna spend the rest of this year ranging this close to 98,000. We're either gonna flip 98 and go higher, or we are gonna continue the rejection that we just started to confirm last week off 98 and start heading a lot lower. So we need to flip 98,000 to go higher by the end of this month. Worst case, or I should say, yeah, like worst case, like, Hail Mary is by the end of Q1. Yeah, the end of Q1, halfway to Q2, maybe, right? If we're being generous, getting back above 98,000 to go higher. But closing out the month here below 98 after retesting and rejecting, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. It can be invalidated, anything can happen, but it's definitely not what we wanted to see. I'm stuck like a pig on XRP. I can't sell. What do you mean you can't sell? Of course you can. Appreciate everybody in here smashing those likes. Guys, everybody tap those likes. Fill up those like meters. Let's go. Let's get 5,000 likes here, guys. You think Bitcoin would drop more now? So yes, right now, if Bitcoin cannot get back above 94,000 to 94,600 by the end of this week, I do expect Bitcoin to head lower. I do expect Bitcoin to head towards that $90,000 price point this week if we do not get above that 94 to 94.6. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate everybody tapping those likes. Make sure you guys are sharing it, guys. I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains. If it's your first time here, drop a 1 in the chat. If it's your first time here, drop a 1 into the chat. Had XRP since 30 cents. Thoughts? That's fantastic. You got into XRP at 30 cents. It rose all the way up to $3.66. Make sure that you guys are hopefully had taken some profits above $2, especially in that $3 region, right? I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm not here to tell you when to buy, when to sell. That's not what I'm here. I'm here to read charts and tell you my personal biases on where I think the market is going. Now, if you're one of those people that bought XRP below $1, right? I hope you didn't drink the Kool-Aid, and I hope you did take some profits. Because if you didn't take profits, you're setting yourself up to potentially write it back down. Well, in your case personally, right, 30 cents, we might not see 30 cents again. We might not, but there's no guarantee we won't. I'm just saying, the odds are we might not. We might drop back down to $1, maybe, worst case 50 cents in a bear market. But nonetheless, it is a very unwise thing to buy an asset so low as 30 cents, see it rise all the way to $3.66 and not take a penny of profits. That just makes absolute no sense as an investor, as a trader, at all. It just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. You said 20%. Okay, let's go. You took 20% of profits. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you want to see. I didn't sell a penny. I'm holding till I don't know. That's not a good idea, Rod. You need to know. You need to have a game plan. The mindset of holding forever and never selling, right? That mindset usually doesn't pay off that well. There's been exceptions, right? People that held on to Bitcoin from the early days of 2010, 2011, 2012, right? Oh, multimillionaires now. But those are exceptions. Those are not the rules. That does not mean that every asset that you buy, you should hold on to forever and have no game plan of taking profits, especially if you are a low margin, low capital investor, right? And what I mean by that, if you're investing with less than 10 grand, right? less than 10 grand, which I know the majority of people are, if you're investing with less than 10 grand and you're able to double or triple that, right, or even 10x that, you should be selling, because the hardest thing to do is going from 0 to 100 grand. Making your first $100,000 is the most difficult moment as an investor, as a trader in your path. Once you can crack that 100K and you can actually have 100K, right? From 100K to a million is just a 10x. But from 0 to 100,000, it is a lot, right? It's thousands of X. It's very, very difficult, right? So, that being said, if you can buy low, like at 30 cents, and sell high, right? Wait for the dip, wait for the retracement, wait for the pullback. You can either buy into your same asset again and then ride it back up if the analysis is saying that we're going to go back up, or you can go and invest in another investment opportunity, whether it's real estate, whether it's whatever else you're looking at to invest. B Fire says, I closed a short on Bitcoin yesterday in profit, but I think I reopened a short today too early on Bitcoin at 92.4. Yeah. I would definitely say that yes, 92.4 was a little bit of an early shot for jumping into a short after such a massive liquidation event. A retracement back towards 94,000 to 94.6 is very likely. At least 93,500 is definitely an area that can be retested. So depending on your leverage, you should be able to survive that short or not. But yeah, I wouldn't be looking into jumping into a short until at least 93.6 to 94.6. When is Bitcoin hitting 60K? Well, no, everybody wants to know when. The question isn't when. It's very difficult to know the exact time. Not like I have a crystal ball here. I can't see the future. I don't know exact times and dates of when things are going to happen. But I do know that getting rejected from that 96 to 97 to $98,000 area that I've been talking about for weeks now, occurring last week. We've closed multiple dailies since then below that area, rejecting from that area, is not good. That is the beginning of the drop to the downside, right? So now how long is it going to take to drop to 60K? I don't know, right? But our goal is that if we cannot flip 98,000, which we couldn't last week, meanwhile we stay below 98,000, we are looking for 80,000 to about 67,000, right? Once we get to that 70,000 or less, we will reassess and see where things are for Bitcoin at that point in time. Obviously, we'll reassess as well at 80,000, see if there's any like bullish momentum coming in that could push back up in the short term. But yes, that is what we're looking for, as unless the $98,000 rejection is invalidated here relatively soon, I am looking for lower. John Frost says, did you manage to short that drop from 95? No, man, I was busy over the weekend, and I was not, I was doing a bunch of family stuff. I was not looking at the charts. I saw the big drop early this morning when I woke up. I wasn't looking at the charts at all over the weekend. Let's see here. Let's keep jumping into the chat. Um, Appreciate everybody in here. Hope you guys are jumping into the Crypto Citadel. The link is in the profile. Go on over to the link. If you don't know what the Crypto Citadel is, it is my private trading community. It is not just for traders. It is for people that want to learn how to read charts, for people that want to learn how to analyze data for themselves so that they can more strategically dollar cost average and game plan and look for those resistance zones where they could potentially be taking profit and de-risking their portfolios, right? It's all about learning and analyzing data. If you're not learning and analyzing data, you're just jumping into chats and live streams and asking questions and hoping you get the right question, the right answer from the right person. You're just blindly gambling, right? You're not really building a portfolio. You're not really a trader. You're not really an investor. So I would urge you guys to go and read charts for yourselves, to start learning how to read charts, start learning how to analyze this data so that you can make better decisions on your own for your portfolios. And if you use the code 99 right now, you will be in the 99 tier for the lifetime of your membership. Jake Clever says, "I'm Jake's assistant. Everything you say is right." Um, I don't know if you really are. I don't think you are. That would be very weird for you to be his assistant and be using a fake account of his. So I'm gonna block you just in case. Let's see here. What's your opinion about ICP? Let's go take a look at ICP here. ICP, oops, USDT. So ICP had a nice little rally last week, all the way up to $4.82. We have still front run our yearly NPOC here at around 492. So we still haven't tapped that. We need to break out of the yearly range, which means we need to get above $6.41 to run towards our previous quarter high and local target here between 984 to 1050. $10.50 that is. If we cannot and we just make a lower high here, obviously, and Bitcoin continues to pull back, we are looking for targets between 266 to as low as maybe 116 to the downside for ICP. It's all going to depend on where Bitcoin goes. Netflix stock thoughts. Let's go take a look at Netflix. Da, 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 Good old Netflix. All right, so Netflix here. So far, we're still below the yearly range here. We need to get above $98.66 for any actual strength to the upside. As of right now, we are currently losing the previous week low of $88.32. So let's get some big target to the downside, right? Big target here to the downside if we continue heading lower are $82.45. Below that, we're looking at $76.33 with a macro gold pocket all the way down at 72.55. Below 72.55, things are going to get a little dangerous and be re-entering the 2024 yearly range, which we definitely don't want to be doing that. That is going to be no bueno for Netflix. Now let's see if I can get here. Yeah, pretty much the same target. Yeah. Netflix needs to start showing some strength, needs to start getting back above the previous week high of 92.63 to potentially make a run for that value area low of 2025 at 98. If not, we could be heading lower. Lower, lower, lower. Nothing but lower. Let's see here. Where's the gold pocket at? Let's get. We've blown past that for sure. That's not looking too good for Netflix right now. What do you think of XRP? Like I said, if Bitcoin continues to pull back, and I do expect it to continue pulling back this week, especially if we get rejected off that $94,000 region. If we get rejected from 94,000 this week, I do expect Bitcoin to head lower. With that being said, that is going to cause the altcoins to pull back lower as well. And XRP is already hanging on by a thread at that $1.99. We've already dropped down to $1.84. I believe $1.84, $1.88 during the Asia trading session. So if Bitcoin continues to pull back, XRP is headed towards 177. Losing a 177 would cause XRP to drop down to as low as 149 to 113, depending how drastic of a drop Bitcoin has, right? And we are expecting or projecting for XRP, for Bitcoin to drop down to as low as 80,000 to 67,000 here in the coming months to weeks, if this $98,000 rejection is not invalidated. So no all season, Albert. I told you guys that the $98,000 price point for Bitcoin was extremely difficult in a bull trap, right? A lot of people got super excited to see the altcoins in the green, to see things pumping as Bitcoin was pumping in the beginning of January. And I told you guys that if Bitcoin does not flip 98 into support, that rally was going to be, cut short, and it was going to be a bull trap. And so far, that's what's playing out. It can still become invalidated, but the more time we spend below 98,000, especially if we start closing monthlies here, we are going to be looking, the likelihood of going down to 80,000 increases drastically. Do you see more downside coming from the Greenland trade deal? So yeah, I mean, meanwhile that drama continues to play out, depending how they want to take it. I know that the EU is obviously now escalating, adding tariffs, and obviously that's probably going to be hit with tariffs from our side as well. All of that is gonna, definitely make the market rock here from side to side. We've seen every single time with tariffs go flying around, the market has pullbacks. But even before this Greenland deal started, right? I've been mentioning that this $98,000 price point is very significant, and that if we don't flip it, we're going to be heading lower. Now, this is now adding on to the Green Deal problem, is adding justification, adding confluence to the potential pullback occurring. So it's one of those things where, do you want to be led by the news and be like, oh, this pullback is happening because of the news, or this pullback is happening because we hit the technical levels, we got reject at those technical levels, and on top of that, we got some negative news that adds fuel to the fire. So it really depends on how you want to see it. Sir Crusader, follow up question about what you stated. If Bitcoin manages to flip 94.6, I can open long for that. But how about we drop? Which price range is great to open for short? So I personally, if we get above 93.6, between 93.6 to that 94.6, I will be looking to short Bitcoin. Right now, if we start flipping that 94.6 and start closing dailies, and potentially the next week above it, then I will be closing my short and looking for a long, right? Living above 94.6 and closing dailies above it definitely puts us in the chance of going towards that 98,000 one more time. If we cannot close dailies above 94.6, right? I will be looking for a short to the downside from that region. Because right now, Bitcoin's price is at 92.9. Coming back up to that 94.6 puts us right at the retest of the upward regression trend that we built last week. It would be a perfect rejection retest of the uptrend that we lost, retest and continuation to the downside. It's also creating another lower high, right? So it's very, very critical area that if we do not flip here this week, we will most likely continue heading lower. I'll cover quant in just a second. Your favorite pharma stocks? I don't have any favorite stocks, period. I'll cover any stock that you want to throw into the chat, but I personally am not like, these are my favorite stocks on X, Y, and Z. So you think Bitcoin will likely fall? Yes, unless Bitcoin can start getting above 94.6 this week very quickly, I do expect Bitcoin to continue heading lower. Let's go take a look at Quant. Then we'll take a look at Pengu. So Quant right now is battling the value area low of 2025, trying to stay above it, above $78. We're currently at $80.63. We need to start getting above $86 to be able to run for, first of all, breaking $86 breaks the 6-month downtrend that Quant has been in, and it'll give us an opportunity to run for our yearly NPOC at $100.90, right? Which is going to be a very critical area between 100 to 103. Now, for any real massive continuation to the upside, Quant needs to get above $113. Getting above $113 opens up an avenue for a potential run towards 141. But, now to the downside, if we continue getting rejected from 86 and we continue on our 6-month downtrend, The targets to the downside here in the short term are $69. Below that, we're looking at $52 to $50 for quant to the downside. Moving on next to Pengu. Good old Pengu. Let's go see. Where's my Pengu chart? Here we go. All right. So Pengu chopping sideways, hasn't really done too much since last month. Last month's low was around 0.008. We're currently sitting at 0.01, so we've pumped 0.002 since last month. We we hit the previous month high around 0.013, got rejected, fell back down, which is not good. Staying within our 6-month downtrend. We need to break above running above 2 cents. Getting above 2 cents gives us the opportunity to run for about 3.5 cents to the upside. But if we cannot get above 2 cents, I do expect Pengu to continue going to the downside. Next big target to the downside, right? First off is going to be that 0.008 again. Below that, we're looking at 0.0057 for Pengu. And that's all going to be hyper dependent on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin having that rally to the upside or to the downside. If we continue to push up higher, right, and flip 98, then I expect altcoins to follow. But if altcoins cannot, Bitcoin cannot flip 98, altcoins are going to follow Bitcoin to the downside, which is Bitcoin is targeting between 80 to 67,000 in the next weeks to months. Von Hondo says, how do you know so much? Well, I've been in crypto since 2017. I've been reading charts for the last 2 years. I've seen it all come and go. I've seen the NFTs. I've seen the meme coins. I've seen the ETFs. I've seen the bear markets of 2020, right? I've seen the bear markets of 2022. It's just time in the market, man. Time in the market. The more time you spend doing something, the more you eventually just know more about it. So I appreciate every single one of you guys in here. I appreciate all you guys tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe. If you guys want to get more in-depth analysis of everything that I'm doing on all of these different altcoins, where's the market headed, make sure you join the Crypto Citadel, my private community. It is the link to it is in my bio, in my profile. Make sure you're using the code 99 to get $51 off every single month for the lifetime of your membership to keep you at the $99 tier for the lifetime of your membership. Make sure you take advantage of that code while it lasts. The code is 99 and join in there. You're going to be getting access to my full 1 hour and 36-minute trading course, my long-term macro analysis, my live trading sessions, my exclusive trading indicators, and all my swing trades, signals, stock analysis, gold, silver, whatever it is that you guys are into. I pretty much do all analysis for you guys in there because I know a lot of you guys have 9 to 5 jobs, might not have the time to learn how to read all the charts on your own, and you just want to go somewhere to be able to have all the data accumulated and be able to read the data and get better decision from it. So that's the service I provide for you guys. I do the analysis for you. If you want to learn, you can. I have the tools there provided for you guys to learn. But if you guys don't have the time, don't have the freedom to learn, then at least I can provide the analysis for you so you guys can digest the analysis and the data as quickly and as easily as possible. So guys, that's all part of the private community, the Crypto Citadel. Make sure you guys go and join. The code is 99 to get into that 99 tier, which is $3 a day to be in the group, guys. $3 a day. If you don't think you can get $3 of $3 worth of data from everything that we do in the Crypto Citadel every single day, then you guys are obviously not paying attention to what is happening here on these live streams. So like always, guys, I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains, and I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.